Zarura. I'm a planning and policy analyst here at the Comox Valley Regional District, and I will be co-hosting this award ceremony, and I will be co-hosting from the Comox Valley Regional District. And we respectfully acknowledge that the land that we gather on is on the unceded traditional territory of the Comox First Nation, the traditional keepers of this land. So welcome again, everyone. We have a brief award ceremony today. We are very excited to be awarding the recipients of our very first Road to 2030 Climate Action Challenge. So just to give you a brief overview of our agenda for today, we are going to have some feedback from the CVRD, from greenhouse gas accounting, and some members of our selection committee. And then we'll jump right into the presentation of the awards and have our closing remarks. So many of you probably know about this if you came to some of our sessions, but we have various initiatives, policies, and goals for climate action within the Comox Valley Regional District. And two notable documents are the Regional Growth Strategy and our Sustainability Strategy, where we have targets to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 50% for the year 2030. We also have our corporate energy plan, and we are committed to carbon neutrality. And every year we we measure, we reduce, and we try to offset our greenhouse gas emissions. And in 2019, we were directed by the CVRD board to use the remainder from the purchases of these offsets to establish a community climate action granting program, which is what we have now, which is the Road to 2030. And this program has been very unique and different, and it's been very exciting to be a part of this. And from the offset, we have included community members, and they've been engaged within the designing as well as to create a program that is by the community and for the community. So it's a unique project. We're very excited with the outcomes, with the process, and it was really a great opportunity to connect with various youth, community members, and individuals who have brilliant ideas and creativity for reducing greenhouse gas emissions within our region. And it showed a lot of passion and dedication, and it was such a great experience. So I will hand it over to Sven from Greenhouse Gas Accounting, and they have been providing expertise in this process for the past 4 months. They've been with us, and they have conducted various capacity building workshops and virtual workshops to ensure that everybody has the same level of understanding and knowledge of how to quantify greenhouse gas emissions. So thank you, Sven. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Daphne. And first of all, I would like to also commend the district on the leadership that they're showing here in order to support community-led action that we need in order to address the climate crisis and make progress within our neighborhoods. And I feel that this program that you have championed here in your community is a great example of how initiatives can be supported, how the community can come together as people to rise up to the challenge, to provide solutions within the community that come out of the community and that have a consensus among the community. That's what we should do and how we should go about these things. And I would also specifically would like to thank the staff of the district that has both worked as advisors and worked in the program to contribute to this, and have worked very hard to make this a program that is actually providing capacity to the community, but also a message and communication to the community that we want to work together in this. I want to hear from community, want to support community ideas and engage together and collaborate. That I think is an important sign that we see from this, and it hopefully will be continued, and also will maybe see followers somewhere else. I also would like to thank the selection committee that also contributed their time and expertise and insights and suggestions. Definitely, your participation made this a better program. So thank you very much for this. And in terms of our commitment to this program, and our work is of course focused to support organizations, companies, cities, and governments that are making a difference through our work of quantification based on recognized standards. The idea is, of course, that we recognize that greenhouse gases are the most important contributor to, or the key contributor to the climate change that we are experiencing, unfortunately, and that it is an important activity to lower the emissions that are going to the atmosphere. In order to do this, we feel it's important to look at the facts, at what is actually going on. And that's why doing inventories and doing accurate quantification will lead us to find solutions. The most important contributions to the greenhouse gases within a community or in an organization will tell us what to address. Therefore, we designed the program to focus on certain areas to reflect that insight that the community has already and that we have from our work. And this is how we develop these focus areas, so that there is some level of understanding and guidance to see these are areas that are important to focus on in order to lower emission in the community. And there were renewable energy, of course, energy making up the most important source of greenhouse gases in any industrialized country. Between 75 to 85% of all the emissions that are contributing to the inventory of a country are because of the production of energy or the use of energy. So that will be the first two categories: renewable energy and transportation. Those will be important areas of contribution, and where we suggested that the community will put their mind to and provide solutions. Solid waste, of course, is also an important area, because how waste is handled, how it's stored, and how it's maybe upcycled or used, or maybe energy recycling is applied, is an important area as well. And of course, how you handle other areas of emissions, for example, wastewater or the supply of water that uses energy, are also important parts. And of course, of the food system. Specific importance do we also have to play to get to a net zero, in order to also to retrieve emissions out of the atmosphere, or protect carbon pools, or resources that have already stored carbon. And those will be all projects of sequestrations. And those would be bogs and moors, of course, which are the most effective storage of carbon. But of course, also forestry is an important part. We have seen projects that have been submitted, and there are important projects because this is carbon or potential greenhouse gases that are already stored through natural means, and we should be respectful of them and make sure that they are protected and not emit carbon and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And we have seen projects that are submitted, and we will come to those project ideas as well. Hopefully, we can continue this program, and we will lend our support and expertise to these projects to help provide and guide and build capacity for a deeper understanding on how activities can be focused towards actually lowering emissions or preventing emissions and storing and protecting carbon pools that we have in our natural-based environment. In order to make this a fair process, we had very clear criteria for this program. Do you mind moving to yes, thank you. And that, of course, number one would be the impact on emission reductions, because that's the goal towards 2030. It is to lower emissions within the community. So that was an important criteria to look at what's these community projects. And again, the program was designed so that we provide capacity and provide guidance. If you just think, oh, I'm doing something green, might not necessarily be the most effective way of lowering emissions. And while the impetus of going in a certain directions and making a contribution to the community is important, it is also important that it is directed towards the most significant problem that we have, which is the climate crisis. And so the criteria of lowering emission was an important criteria in this, and it featured the strongest in our criteria. But as this being a community and we are all living together in a community, it needs to be shared. It needs to be a benefit that we all together enjoy, and that's a benefit that the obviously will be brought to the community. So there, the community benefit was, of course, an important factor as well. It shouldn't just benefit just one individual person or one single household. And durability was an important factor as well. Of course, what we want to do should last and be permanent. Reversible things are not, they are commendable to do, but they are not going to last and will not make us achieve our targets. So it was important that the program or activity that was suggested had some element of permanence so that we know this is an achievement and that's here to stay. The last two factors were of lesser importance, but of course also to some importance, is feasibility, that it can be realized in the community. But we encourage projects also to be submitted that are suggestions that might need additional help. And so feasibility might be something that could be achieved in collaboration with others or with additional funding. And scalability, of course, ideally, we would address projects that can be brought into the wider community. It could be like a learning opportunity for more projects of the same kind to be applied. So those are the criteria that were driven from the idea of encouraging projects from the community with a clear trajectory towards lowering emissions, towards creating a benefit within the community, to having a permanence from this and having a lasting effect. So those are the criteria that we encourage in those projects, and our proponents that were successful have addressed those aspects in their own way with their projects. So we're very glad that this process has worked and resulted in qualifying submissions. Hopefully this program will continue and these criteria will be more of a concern and point of discussions within the community so that we can grow and learn and come together with projects that are achieving the goal together as a community that benefit the community. And it was a great pleasure working within this and making this contribution. We have learned from this as well, and are able to provide our services in a more meaningful and more directed way. So it was much appreciated to be able to contribute to this. Thank you very much. Daphne?
Thank you, Sven. And I would thank you for giving us that feedback. I would like to invite our selection committee to say a few words. We had 6 selection committee members, and I see that we have 2 who are on who are part of this award ceremony. So if they would like to just give us a bit of feedback on their experience with the Road to 2030 challenge.
Sure. Hi, I'm Jen Groundwater, and I was invited to be on the committee as part of, just because I'm the editor of the CV Collective magazine, which is involved and interested in environmental issues, of course, as well as community issues. And I found it a really inspiring thing to be part of. It was great to virtually meet everybody else who was on the committee. There were a lot of young people who were extremely well informed and passionate about environmental causes, and certainly well spoken and really excellent in terms of their contributions and their questions and so on, to the point where sometimes I just felt like I should just sit back and listen because they have it going on. Yeah, and to see the projects that were suggested and the community groups that are working to achieve greenhouse gas reductions and better the community was also really inspiring. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with the projects. And thanks for inviting me to be part of it.
Thank you. Thanks so much for your comments, Jen. I think, Ben, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name's Ben Mason, and I was also on the selection committee for the Road to 2030, and yeah, it was a very amazing experience. I was one of the youth members, so I was super happy to see that we had 3 youth on the committee. So it wasn't just a singular type of action. It was truly like there was a good representation of youth. So we really got to have a lot of say, and I think it was a really enjoyable process. Definitely something that I'm super grateful to have been a part of, that I've learned quite a bit from. And it was also really great having a greenhouse gas counting there, and just all their expertise. So really they did a really good job of not biasing us or trying to show us any specific path to take, but we're just really good at giving us as many options as we needed, as well as everyone who was involved was just really good at making sure everybody had as much they could to form an opinion, but making sure that everybody then came to their own opinion. So you really got the community members involved. And I think that was also probably very helpful. I know it was very helpful for me, and I'm sure it was really helpful for all the other youth as well. So thank you very much for this opportunity. It was really amazing.
Thank you so much, Ben. And it was really great having all the selection committee members and the youth, and it was very, very difficult, but we thank you for everything that you did. And so now I think we can get into the awards. Okay, so this is the time that everybody's been waiting for, and thank you for your patience. And so we had $27,000 available to award, and this was not an easy feat, but we are going to award it to 3 projects. And yes, we're all anxious, I know, so let me just get on. So our first award is going to be to the Edible Indigenous Plant Shelter Belt. And this was a submission made by the Comox Youth Climate Council together with Lush Valley Food Action Society. So they will be awarded $7,000 to see their project come to life. So the Lush Valley will work together to install an edible indigenous plant shelter belt. So they want to do a food forest and provide the opportunity to train youth in environmental restoration, permaculture, design, and edible foods. And in this project, they would show greenhouse gas reductions by reducing the amount of the carbon footprint that would come from transportation from food that is not locally produced. It would also sequester greenhouse gas emissions through planting diverse food crops, and as well as soil building. Some of the community benefits from this program address food insecurity, as well as better distribution by taking out the length of time it takes for the foods to reach source, as well as providing good food. They also have good food box and hot meals programs. Other community benefits include regenerative agriculture and education, which they will provide, and providing collaboration for a diverse set of groups, from youth to older generation, and as well as the filtration of runoff by the Solom River, and also education on water conservation techniques, bioremediation, and phytoremediation. And if possible, I would just like to invite, if there's anybody from the Edible Indigenous Plant Shelter Belt here today, if you would like to say, accept this award and maybe share a few words.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Bo. I'm the Urban Agriculture Coordinator from Lush Valley. Hopefully my video will stay on for the little bit of this because I'm in pretty bad reception area. Unfortunately, the youth from the Comox Youth Climate Council send their regards. They're just out of school now, so they were all away for the week. But we're very excited to get this project up and running. It's something we've been dreaming about for a couple of years now. We've got this space that just really needs this reinvigoration, and yeah, just really excited and so grateful that you guys have chosen to fund us. So yay. I was just in the space earlier today with some of the kids there, and we were kind of planning and hoping and dreaming. So now I can tell them that it's happening. So yeah, thank you so much.
That was early.
All right, thank you so much, Bo. So we are gonna move on to the next recipient. And for this recipient, they are receiving an award in the area of sequestration. And this would be for Trees for Tomorrow, or the next award recipient, and they will receive a grant for $9,000. And just a brief summary of this project, they already established in planting trees in the Comox Valley and in the Gulf regions. They will achieve greenhouse gas reductions in the sequestration by planting the right trees in the right place, at the right location with the right variety and varied mixes. Some of the community benefits for this project include partnerships and established alliances with tree growers, conservancy groups, First Nations. They're also going to target some infills and establish relationships with nonprofits and conservancy groups. They will also raise awareness within schools through education and planting and preserving trees and wildlife habitat, as well as storing and cleansing water. So if there is anybody here from Trees for Tomorrow who'd like to accept this award and say a few words, I'll give you this opportunity. Thank you.
Nope.
Doesn't
Hello?
look like, hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you can see me. I'm Stuart Prescott from Conservancy Hornby Island. First of all, Yahoo, thank you ever so much for the grant. We'll spend the money wisely and we'll get a lot of results. I'd just like to thank the regional district for providing a very interesting grant initiative, and I think it's vital. I think it's vital that the federal government, the provincial government, and grassroots organizations like ours really focus on greenhouse gases and climate change. I've got to say, this last 3 days where the heat was wretchedly hot and miserable, I think it was a huge wake-up call. It should be a huge wake-up call to all of us that climate change is upon us and we've got to do something about it. So we're going to plant a lot of trees, we're going to plant the right trees, and we're going to think about aesthetics, but also awareness. We're going to keep beating the drum that climate change has to be dealt with. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you for that. And so we have one more grant recipient for today, and I am as nervous announcing this as the participants are as well. And this recipient is also in the area of sequestration, and our grant recipient is the Lower Perseverance Corridor Project, and they will be receiving $11,000, an $11,000 grant. And the organization for this is the Cumberland Community Forest Society. So this project aims to protect they applied for a grant to contribute to the project that aims to protect 12 hectares of second growth forests, which range from 90 years to 110-year-old trees along the Perseverance Creek. And 2 hectares of that is at immediate risk, and 10 hectares is proposed for cut block. So, and also at risk of being logged. So they would like to purchase an important piece of riparian and upland forest and place it under a covenant. So they are in progress of fundraising for this initiative, and some of the greenhouse gas reductions that they will achieve within this project include They include some of the greenhouse gas reductions that would be achieved in this include sequestering carbon by contributing to avoided emissions by protecting these forests and protecting them from harvesting, of course, and also protection of the community carbon sink. So the community benefits within this project include dialogue and research with the Comox First Nation, biodiversity protection, just like the previous one, also in fish habitat, as well as education, because there would be access to corridor accessibility and education for schools and interpretive activities, as well as protection of drinking water, landscape recreation and connectivity, because it's a protection of an important ecological corridor linking the upper reaches of the Perseverance Corridor to the Comox Lake, which is also frequented by the public for recreation. And another benefit, also community benefit, is the protection of a heritage corridor, which is the Wellington Colliery rail line. So I would also once again like to invite, if there is a member from the Lower Perseverance project submission, to say a few words and accept this award.
Hi, yeah, I'm Sarah. I was involved with this project with the Cumberland Forest Society. I am a forester, and so this was something that really spoke to me and was a really exciting project to do, from conducting the fieldwork and doing the carbon analysis. So thank you so much. This is fantastic, and it's a really great opportunity for the Forest Society to help secure this parcel of important forest, and also helps us in kind of educating the public and donors and businesses that want to contribute in the importance of forests as natural climate solutions, and kind of use it as a different narrative on motivating people to donate. So I think this is really great, and will be really beneficial. So thank you, and thanks to everyone that helped out with this. It was great, a lot of teamwork. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. So again, I just want to say congratulations to all of the award recipients for the Road to 2030 Climate Action Challenge. It was really great to see your ideas. Thank you so much for your hard work and your dedication. We will be sending you your award certificates, and we'll be in contact with you regarding those grants. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody who submitted, because there were so many great applications. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it was just really such an amazing showcase of all the innovation, passion, and dedication there is from community members regarding climate action within our community. And thank you again, and we hope we can cross paths again sometime with other climate-related initiatives. And before we end today, I would just like to give Alana Malali, our General Manager of Planning and Development Services, to just say a few words. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Daphne. I just similarly wanted to echo Daphne's thank you, and also Sven's. This project has been about working in partnership in our community to support innovation and collaboration, and to inspire local climate action. So thank you to all of our applicants. We weren't able to, our selection committee was not able to award a grant to all of the applicants, but we're hopeful that this project can be the first of further projects, similar projects. So thank you to all of the applicants for your creativity and your commitment to local climate action. I just would extend the same thank you to our selection committee members. The dedication of your volunteer time, your leadership, and your insights And similarly, your commitment to local climate action is very much appreciated by the whole community. Thank you to GHD Accounting, to Sven, to Bora, to Erica. We have all learned a great deal from each of you, and we'll take that learning forward into future initiatives. You might have noticed we have some beautiful design work, and that was done for us by the Witch Haze Studio. So thank you to the designers there for that contribution to support the project. And thank you, Daphne. Daphne has been the lead on this project in our office and has really stick-handled the work along with GHG Accounting. So thank you very much to each of you, and thank you to everyone for attending tonight. As you might know, our board has declared a climate crisis, and this is just one of the ways that we're endeavoring to act locally to take action on the climate crisis. So thank you.
So thank you, Alana, and thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.